Hey guys, Jake here at Arrowhead Rifles. Super excited about today's video. We're going to be going over a new bino offering from Swarovski. It's a part of the EL Range lineup. It's going to be a 12x42 EL Range TA. So we had 8x32, 10x32, 8x42, 10x42, and now we have a 12x42. I know a lot of Western hunters have been asking for a 12 magnification bino in the range lineup. And now it's here. I think everybody was kind of curious if it was going to be a 42 millimeter objective or a 50 millimeter objective. Swarovski has elected to stay with the same housing as the 10 and 8x42s and just step it up to a 12x42. So the weight is the same. They're 32.6 ounces. The size is the same. Virtually you can't tell a difference between the two other than when you look through them. Also new with the 12x42 EL Range is going to be the new TA adapter system. If you haven't checked that out, it came out when they released the 14s this past year. And all of the NLs moving forward, as well as the 42 millimeter EL Range TAs are going to have that new TA adapter compatibility. It's a super slick system. I happen to forget mine at the shop, so I'm using my old school clamp-on style adapters, but the adapter is night and day better than these. So super excited that they're going to offer that factory with the EL Range lineup. Other than that, and I mean, even that's the same now, but the only difference really with these is going to be the 2 extra magnification and then a smaller field of view. Let me double check on the field of view so I don't misspeak. On the old 10x42 EL ranges, you're looking at 359 feet at 1,000 yards. And on the 12x42s at 1,000 yards, you're looking at 288 feet. So it is a noticeable difference. I mean, as you would expect going, up to power. It's kind of just a matter of if you think that extra 2 magnification is worth a little bit less in the field of view category. Kind of where I guess each bino fits in, if you're trying to decide which one's for you. I think if you want to run one bino as a dual bino along with like a spotter or a BTX, the 12x42 is for you. I think that's what a lot of guys have been wanting, and now it's here. If you already run 14s or 15s in a spotter or a BTX, the 10s or the 8s are going to be awesome to pair with that setup since you already have the 14s or 15s. Myself, I run twin STC spotters, so I elect to run the 10s. I'm not sure that I'm going to jump to the 12s. I actually went to the 10x42 EL ranges from my 12 NLs because I thought I just wasn't using the 12s to glass as much since those STCs can glass so close. I liked the bigger field of view of the 10s. I just didn't need that 12 power anymore. So that's just something you have to look at your own setup and kind of what you want to get out of it and decide from there. But I do know a lot of guys that run a 12x42 NL or the 12x50 EL with a BTX and a spotter, and this is going to be an awesome new option for those guys that want to run a 12 power range finding bino. Both of these binos are going to range to 2,200 yards. With any rangefinder, I think like perfect conditions, you might be able to hit 2,200 yards. I will say I have no issues whatsoever hitting like 1,700 yards with these binos. As far as the ballistics go, I've tested it against multiple different apps. The ballistics are right there with all the different apps I've tested. The previous rangefinder I had that did ballistics that I thought was the best rangefinder out there at the time. The EL ranges were dead on to 1,300 yards, and then after 1,300 yards to 1,600 yards, they were 0.1 mil difference. So I mean, spot on. I'm not going to be personally shooting at any game past 1,300 yards. So as far as the ballistics go, they've got it figured out. You can load 3 different profiles on the app. The app just Bluetooths to the binos. Swarovski has an informational video going over how to use that. That's super easy. They just updated the app to make it even more user-friendly, so no issues or complaints there. The other awesome thing that these binos offer is the tracking assistant, or the TA in the name. So what that does is when you open your app and Bluetooth it to your binos, it'll pull up your last 3 ranges that you took. You can select one of those 3 ranges and it will drop a pin on a map of what you ranged. Now you need to make sure that the binos are calibrated, which there's a video going over that Swarovski put out, but as long as your binos are calibrated for where you're hunting and the compass is set, it's going to drop a pin dang near exactly on what you ranged. I've tested it multiple times. I used it to recover an elk earlier this season in a super thick drainage. ranged the top of the tree the bull was standing at the bottom of, and we walked up to 2 feet of it. I've used it to put, when I put bucks to bed and we're going to stalk them, if I was like by myself, I've ranged the buck, dropped the pin, and then gone down. And I mean, I think the furthest it's ever been off in my testing was like 5 feet. So it's extremely accurate. There's a lot of different ways you can utilize that feature. It's definitely one of my favorite features of the binocular. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. We are super excited to offer these this year to you guys. We have a bunch on hand, so if you're interested in these, let us know and we can get you set up with a pair. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them in the comments, give us a call or shoot us an email. But I think that's it, so thanks for watching.